which we're just going to start learning about the French Revolution. The directions say here, right at the start, watch the mini lesson after answering questions 1 through 3. It's a see, think, wonder. So I want you to write down 3 things that you see here, 2 things that you think occurred during the French Revolution, and then write at least 2 questions that you have about the French Revolution. So press pause, and when you're done answering questions 1, 2, and 3, we'll meet right here. All right, welcome back to the mini lesson. So we're now going to move on to the rest of this pod using our Padlet, but I wanted you to answer questions 1, 2, and 3 without my introduction of the French Revolution so that you could make some, educated guesses based off of that image and what you've previously learned in global history about what you think you might know about the French Revolution. So step 1 is to open up the Padlet link, and then step 2 is to finish watching this mini lesson video. So we're here, but before we do that, let's go through the questions so we know what to listen for. We'll do this together. So question 4 is, based on the video and transcript, what problems was France facing in the late 1700s? Which event marked the end of the old monarchy, and when did this event occur? In the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of Citizen in 1793, it states, men are born and remain free and equal in rights. Which Enlightenment thinker does this most sound like? Question 7 is a fill in the blank. And question 8, I will talk more at the end. So now let's transition here. So the French Revolution, we first need to understand what a revolution actually is, which a revolution is a great change from the way things were in the past. And there are 2 different types of revolutions. The first type is a political revolution when there's a great change in government, usually including the overthrow of one government or replacement of old leaders with new leaders or a new system of government. And non-political revolutions are a great change in technology or ideas, usually including the replacement of an old technology or innovation with a new technology or innovation. I'm just going to foreshadow, knowing this is going to help you answer question 8, which I just read out to you before this. You've already studied this for questions 1, 2, and 3 for the See, Think, Wonder. The French Revolution is broken up into 4 stages. This is how historians sort of categorize the French Revolution. And, this is just an introduction to you today. We're not going to take a very deep dive into these 4 stages quite yet. We're just going to begin to understand what really started the revolution. So please watch this video because this is where the bulk of your answers are going to come from. But I am going to go over a few things. So to get started, in the late 1700s, there was economic crisis in France, and this is coming from the fact that there was strict social hierarchy, and those who were at the bottom of social organization and hierarchy, the poor people, they were very dissatisfied with the monarchy, and they were very upset because the monarchy was trying to increase their taxes. I also want to point out this important part, that this hierarchy that existed in France was being questioned by Enlightenment thinkers, and this is part of what sparked the revolution. I want to remind us of Voltaire because when we were learning about Voltaire, he's instrumental. His ideas and freedom of speech and expression are instrumental in the French Revolution. And the event that really sparked the French Revolution was Bastille Day, which is on July 14th. That occurred in 1789. And part of that declaration I mentioned, I believe it's question number 6, where in the declaration it says, men are born and remain free and equal in rights. This immediately makes me think of John Locke, because it makes me think of the fact that John Locke thinks that everyone is born with natural rights, and that the government should uphold and protect those rights. So that is what is going to help you answer questions 4, 5, and 6. And then let's go to question 7, which is this fill in the blank. You have your 6 words here. They're also in the Padlet. But based off of what I just said, what you watched and listened to in that YouTube clip, you're going to be able to fill this in. I suggest that you read it out loud to yourself and make sure that it makes sense. It's not word for word what the transcript is, and it's not word for word from the video or word for word from me, but I think you'll be able to fill in the blanks. And then question number 8 says, in your opinion, do you think the French Revolution is a political or a non-political revolution? Explain. So let's go back here. Here is where you can review your definition for political revolution and non-political revolution. Okay, and then there's a hint from Miss Shaft. To answer this question, use the sentence starters below. You should write at least 2 sentences. Well, look at that. I have 2 sentence starters. So the first sentence is where you need to actually identify whether the French Revolution was a political or a non-political revolution. So there's sentence 1. And then sentence 2, you're going to say that the French Revolution was a, whatever you picked up here, was a, for instance, political revolution because, and this is where you're going to use some sort of detail from this video, and this is the transcript to the video. You're going to use an example, and it needs to connect to political or non-political. So that's when you would use these definitions. So it only needs to be 2 sentences. You do not need to go into detail because you have limited information. But I just want to see where you think the French Revolution lies on the spectrum of political or non-political. Have fun, guys.